Okay, so this is actually a very rare moment where my opinion on a Pacers player has been statistically proven wrong. I know, shocking. It normally doesn't happen, but it actually did. And that is with my opinion on Malcolm Brogdon being worse in games against either playoff teams or teams with a good defense. Because statistically, and I was talking about like his scoring. Because statistically, normally he averages 45% from the field, 38% from three, and 21 points. Against teams with a top 10 defense, he averages 47% from the field, 41% from three, and 20 points. Basically the same numbers. And against playoff teams, he averages 46% from the field, 3%, 39% from three, and 21 points. Basically the same numbers. So statistically, he's consistent across the board. You look at his splits, where it's home, away, and losses and wins, like all of his stats look the same. He's very consistent. So, what is the thing that makes him look bad? Well, one, a note that I wrote down here, what I was right about the fact that if he starts a game and he's shooting off bad, he will continue to just shoot for the rest of the game. He will never stop shooting. That was true because he'll have these performances where he's like 2 of 20 or something like that, 0 of 5 from the 3-point line. Like just these performances where he keeps on shooting no matter what. These games usually happened against the Bucks, the Heat, and the Nets for some reason, if I remember correctly. So that plays into part of it. Another one is his playmaking. Last year, he averaged 7 assists per game. That's good for a point guard. That's what a starting point guard should average, is around 7 or 6 assists. Whereas this year, he averaged 5 assists. So that's 5 on a normal day. Sometimes he'd have more, but sometimes he'd have less. And usually when your point guard has less than 6 assists, you're in a not so good place. He was averaging less than 6 assists. That is part of what made him look bad this season, because while his scoring was up and he looked good in the Nate Bjorkgren style of offense, his playmaking ability and the ability to try and make the people around him score more points was worse. And as a point guard, it is your job to run the offense and make plays for other people and produce points for other people. So if you can't do that, even if you average a few more points than you did the season before, the amount of points you're taking away from your teammates by not creating points for them is going to outweigh that. So that is part of what was making Malcolm Brogdon look not so good last year. It's just that I didn't realize it. I should have seen it, but because just to put it in perspective, off the bench, TJ McConnell was averaging 6 assists per game. Off the bench with significantly less minutes than Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is usually getting like 30, 32, 34 minutes a game. And TJ McConnell's getting like 20. So he's averaging a decent amount of less minutes and he's a better playmaker. And at the point guard position, that is vital. That's extremely vital. So really what Malcolm Brogdon needs to work on is realizing when to stop shooting and play make for other players on your team. His defense is solid. He averaged like almost a steal a game and a half a block a game. Decent numbers, not a liability at all. TJ Warren type defensive numbers where he's a solid defender, and especially with a good defense around him, his defense isn't going to stick out too bad. So that's just things that he can work on. But I need to stop using the narrative that he isn't good when we need him to be, because as far as scoring goes, except for a few teams where he seems to just not be able to get over the hump, he's mostly consistent. So I was wrong. Hopefully this season, we've signed on Torrey Craig. We've got a good defense. We might get Lance. Hopefully we're gonna have like a top ranked defense in the NBA. I'm hoping for at least top 10 defense in the NBA, and we've got a solid offense. I think this season we might at least be above 500. I think we should. I think we should at least score 40. I mean, score. I think we should at least win 40 games. As long as injuries don't murder our entire season. See you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny, and yeah. See you guys next time.